mom friends, welcome back to my channel, Home and Arrows. My name is Shirley and I'm a homeschooling mom of 5 kids that I like to call my arrows. And today I just want to welcome you to my channel and to my kitchen table where we're going to have a chat about sibling rivalry. Oh man, y'all, stay tuned. Recently, I have had several moms ask me to have a mom chat about sibling rivalry, and I've been a little bit hesitant because I don't want to address sibling rivalry as something that our family has mastered or come across as it being something that our family doesn't deal with, because I just want to put out there right up front from the beginning that my children argue with each other, they fight with each other, they have bad attitudes with each other. My heart for this channel and for these chats is that you have a place that you can come and feel like, wow, I'm not the only one that's dealing with this, so you don't feel lonely in your situation. And 2, I do love to share things that our family does that maybe I have found help, but that's all it is, are things that have helped us. And I know every family dynamic is totally different. The kids in my family were born with different personalities than the kids in your families. My hope is that maybe I can share something that maybe gives you an idea of something that you would want to incorporate in your family. But please know that my heart is never for you to think that I have anything completely figured out, because I never do. I'm right there in the trenches of motherhood with you, learning and growing and figuring it out as I go. What I do hope you'll take away from this chat is some encouragement and maybe some possible ideas of things that you might want to try to incorporate. So here we go, sibling rivalry. I have 3 things that I want to talk about today. The first is kind of an encouragement for you, mom, and the other 2 things will be some practical type things that we've tried in our family to help alleviate this issue. Number 1, I want to talk to you first, mama. We have to note that sibling rivalry is as old as the story in the Bible of Cain and Abel. Sibling rivalry is something that will never be completely eliminated from your family, and that's probably not what you came here wanting to hear, but it is the absolute truth. Sibling rivalry will happen as long as children in a home with little sin natures are living together, working together, and doing life together. So this is what I want to say to you moms. Embrace the fact that dealing with children who sometimes do not get along will just be a part of our job description. It's a part of motherhood that will never go away. So if we can't change that, what we can change is ourselves and how we choose to respond to it. Kids have the potential to fuss with each other all day, every day. And so if you let it affect you, you're going to spend all day, every day completely frustrated, irritated, and annoyed. So I want to encourage you to just accept it as a part of the season of your life. There's a beautiful poem by Hannah Hurnard in one of my favorite books called Hinds Feet on High Places. And in this book, there's a poem that's titled, In Acceptance Lieth Peace. And there are just some things that I have learned about life that if I just learn to accept them, I'm able to more easily come to peace with them. Being able to walk in peace shouldn't be determined by our outward circumstances. I have an Etsy shop, and in that Etsy shop, I have a pendant that I've designed. And I love the quote that's on this pendant. It says this: peace, it does not mean to be in a place where there is no noise, trouble, or hard work. It means to be in the midst of those things and still be calm in your heart. I don't know if you're guilty of this, but something that, especially when all my kids were younger, I would do, like say we were gonna go on a vacation or have this special fun family day, I would set my expectation for this day to be super wonderful, super amazing. As moms, we tend to sometimes romanticize motherhood and think, oh, it's gonna look like this and be like this. And then reality kicks in and kids are in the backseat fussing and fighting, not getting along. I love the quote by Lisa Turkers that says, somewhere between expectation and reality lies the fruitful land of disappointment. And we can easily spend our days disappointed if we've set this unrealistic expectation for what our days will look like. Early on, somehow, somewhere, I learned to just know dealing with sibling disputes is going to be a part of my life. The second thing I want to talk about is Okay, so just because it will probably be a part of our everyday lives as moms doesn't mean it's something we just neglect. Not addressing it and just ignoring that kind of behavior between our kids is probably one of the worst things we can do. Trust me, I know how tiring it is to be on top of our kids all the time, but consistency is one of the things that helps bear the best fruit. When we see our kids not responding well to one another, we have really got to step in and in those moments demonstrate and talk to our kids about the proper way to respond. There's a verse in the Bible that says, "Do not grow weary in well-doing, for in due time you will reap a harvest." And I know it's tiring, I know it's exhausting, but sowing that good seed into the hearts and in the minds of our kids is so important. Our children are in a season of life where they need for us to teach them, to show them, to guide them, to demonstrate for them what good relationships look like. Keep sowing those seeds of, we're always kind to others, we are always loving to others. This is the way we talk to one another. And my absolute favorite, the one that we probably spend the most time on in our home, is telling our kids that they need to learn to prefer one another above themselves. That verse in the Bible is one that we have ingrained in our children. You see, I found that at the root of most of the disputes between my kids is selfishness. So many times I will stop and I will look at a child that I think is the offender, and I will say, "Are you preferring your brother or your sister above yourself in this moment?" And it causes them to self-reflect and say, "No, I'm really wanting my way right now." I want to share really quick 2 more little things that we've done in our family that have worked for us, not to completely eliminate sibling rivalry, but to maybe diminish how much it happens throughout our day. Having conversations with our kids, not just when they're arguing, but when things are going well. So I'm going to share kind of a real life situation that happens in our home and that happened. And it was between our 2 oldest daughters. Our oldest daughter is River, she's 12. And then her sister beneath her is only 11 months younger than her. And her name is Daly. And they get along so well. They really do. But there are also points of tension between them. The first, honestly, kind of being that my oldest has your typical firstborn child characteristics. And my second is more of a free spirit, very carefree. So what tends to happen between them is the older tends to dominate the younger, even though there really isn't much of an age difference between them. And so the point of tension happens when our oldest, who probably also has like a type A personality, likes for things to be done a certain way. She values efficiency, where her sister is like, "Oh, look, there's a butterfly." So I started to notice a season where my second daughter just had a bad attitude towards her older sister a whole lot. And one day when things were going well, my husband and I just pulled her aside and we had a conversation about it. We said, "Hey, Daly, this is something that we've noticed in you. Let's talk about it." Listen, the Bible, I don't know about you, but it is my guide for parenting. I know I get asked all the time, what are some parenting resources? And honestly, my very first guide to parenting is the Bible. The Bible says that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so she was just moody and attitude was just kind of coming out. It really reflected to us that there was a heart issue. And so when we had this conversation with her, that came out. She had been pretty hurt by some of the ways that her older sister had treated her. And so having that talk with her and then being able to go to her older sister and having a separate conversation with her, and then bringing them together so that they could have a talk about this together was huge. It opened my oldest daughter's eyes to how she was treating her younger sister. And it opened our youngest daughter's eyes for her to see how she was just kind of walking around with a bad attitude against her. So talk to your kids. There might be something deeper going on. The other thing under the practical note that I wanted to share was something that I don't do as much anymore, but when all 5 of my kids were much younger, I got so tired of "Mommy!" You know what I'm talking about. So I thought, all right, this is a problem. I cannot go through my day hearing these high-pitched yells telling me that they're frustrated with one another. So I came up with this plan and it really, really helped. I told my kids, When you are not getting along with a sibling and something comes up, the first thing you need to do is to try to make it right between that sibling. If you haven't tried to make it right with them before you come to me, then you are going to be the one that gets in trouble. So my kids knew before they could come to me and say, Mommy, they needed to go to that sibling and in a loving way express to them their need or their want or their desire. Let's say someone took their toy. They had to go up to that sibling and say, you took my toy, that wasn't right. I would like for you to please give it back to me. If our child responded that way to their sibling and their sibling didn't listen to them, then the first sibling had the ability to now come to mom and very calmly say, Mom, please help me. And that signaled to me that they had already tried to solve the problem the right way on their own before bringing me into it. Now, the other siblings knew if I had to enter a situation to try to diffuse it, and their sibling had in the right way tried to encourage them to do the right thing and they didn't, then that sibling would get in trouble. But I hope this all makes sense. But if the child who came to me and said, Mom, please help me, hadn't tried first to solve the problem in the right way, then they would be the ones to get in trouble. So again, they were not allowed to come to me and shout out my name to come try and diffuse a situation unless they had already tried to diffuse it the right way first. And throughout my day, what ended up happening was I didn't have kids crying out, Mom! I had kids coming to me saying, Mom, please help me. That would be the only way that I would come between two siblings, is if they came to me in that tone of voice and if they had already tried to solve the problem themselves. And the very last thing, number 3, is try to encourage positive sibling relationships. Be intentional for your kids to make really good memories together and to have fun. Create things that you can do together as a family where you're just gonna have a great time together, because I am personally convinced that it's those things that will bond our children together. It's those memories that they will have together from their childhood when they leave the house that they're going to be talking about, oh, remember this time, oh, remember that fun time we had together, remember the time we went to the beach. All of those vacations and all of those things that we are intentional to plan are just building blocks of memories between siblings. It will be the thing that they carry into their adulthood that they have in common with each other that they just don't have in common with anyone else. All right, moms, I know you're doing such a great job, and I just really pray that the Lord would grace you with strength and with patience for those times where your kids are not getting along. All right, moms, I just love having chats with you at my kitchen table. I hope that you would like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy the content here, and also make sure you click on the notification bell because that will help you know when I upload, which is usually once a week on Thursdays. All right, moms, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great rest of the week with your kids. Until next time, bye.